Danny Murphy, Kane needs Tottenham teammates and manager to help him. For all Harry Kane's experience, he'd have to be a robot not to be affected by the way Tottenham fans turned on him on Saturday night. He'll feel awful at having every misplaced pass or failure to control the ball booed by his own crowd. And, yes, I feel sympathy for him, because it's at times like this that you need your manager and teammates to help pull you through. At the moment they are giving him no assistance whatsoever. If I had a stinker for Liverpool, Michael Owen or Steven Gerrard would normally take the pressure off by scoring the winner, and I was allowed to get over any loss of form without the criticism that comes with defeat. If Kane doesn't do it for Spurs, nobody will, and he's left carrying the can. I've considered Kane a great player for years, and this was the first time I've ever seen him struggling in terms of confidence. He was overthinking things and looked as if he'd lost sharpness. When Spurs were being well beaten in the second half, he tried to put in a cross that got intercepted. That's when the descent began. Then he lost the ball and made a foul trying to win it back, and the volume went up. If he'd done the same thing when Spurs were winning and playing well, nobody would have cared. Football does change quickly. Look at United this weekend, and sometimes on small things. If one wonderful Kane through ball to Son in the first half had led to a goal, the confidence might have come back. But Son Heung-min went too early and was offside, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka put in a tackle in any case. I am really worried for Spurs because that was a tepid performance, short on tactics and energy. United were probably nervous after losing 5-0 to Liverpool. But instead of Tottenham making a fast start, they were pragmatic and ponderous and allowed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team to grow into the game, then dominate. It is up to a manager to give his best players the platform on which to express themselves. But what is Nuno Espirito Santo doing for Kane right now? Not enough. If he wanted to play safe, he shouldn't have picked Giovanni Lo Celso, Lucas Moura, Son, and Kane. But once he decided to go for that quartet, you might as well try to utilize them. Instead, there was no using the pace of Son and Moura down the sides to try and unsettle United and create space for Kane. It was a mishmash. Kane needs one of his pals to chip in and help until he's firing again. But nobody is taking on that mantle. So Spurs are losing, not scoring, and Kane will be blamed because he is the biggest name and tried to leave the club in the summer. He can turn it around with resilience and hard work. He can't rely on anyone else at the club at the moment, so he's going to have to start to change his own luck and hope the manager will switch to a style that is more conducive to making chances. I couldn't believe it when Nuno took off Moura when he was the one player in a Spurs shirt who looked capable of having a go. That is when the stadium began to turn toxic. But having watched Kane's career, I don't doubt his mentality and firmly believe he will come again if given the tools by Nuno. A lot of the criticism being aimed at Spurs will have been thrown at United a week ago, and Solskjaer deserves praise for responding, as Nuno must now. He switched to 3 at the back, and Bruno Fernandes played as a genuine midfielder alongside Fred and Scott McTominay rather than floating as a number 10. He showed he has the athleticism and intelligence to do both sides of a midfielder's job without losing the creativity. The solidity of that trio in the engine room allowed the wing-backs to throw in the crosses that Cristiano Ronaldo and Edinson Cavani thrived on. Ronaldo was wonderful throughout. By contrast, Nuno was tentative, and his team played in a manner that made it open season on pantomime villain Kane. Just as Solskjaer did for Ronaldo on Saturday night, the Spurs manager has to change things to get the best out of his talisman. Their 3 Premier League games in November are against Everton, Leeds, and Burnley, with an international break sandwiched in between. Those are not the toughest fixtures this league has to offer, but certainly not the easiest. Nuno badly needs to give this Tottenham team an identity, otherwise it won't be the last time you hear discontent around the stadium.